videos of thylacines, Nessie related to whales, and a ghost moving a bicycle. All that next on Suburban Paranormal. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode here of Suburban Paranormal. I know it's been probably about 2.5 weeks since the last one. Things have been pretty crazy, but thanks for sticking around. Thanks for tuning in. As always, check us out over at Cinescape Media for all the latest episodes, news, things like that on this show, as well as many others. So we'll go ahead, we'll just jump right into it, guys. We got a couple things in the news. I did remember a paranormal dad joke this time, and a couple things we'll go ahead and get into. So right off the bat, let's go ahead and we'll jump into these. All right, and get the browser to show up here. There we go. And the first thing we got, Tasmanian tiger enthusiast, who is actually the founder, Neil Waiters, of the Thylacine Awareness group of Australia, has apparently captured 3 photographs in Tasmania. Now, we're not getting these till March 1st, though, apparently. So, we're going to keep our eyes out on this, but I did find it interesting. I didn't see many stories about this, but I guess I haven't been paying too much attention to Thylacines. I'm more Bigfoot and more Nessie, which we'll see here shortly. But anyway, he thinks he found what looks like a little bit of a family. He's going to be releasing these on March 1st. He has a YouTube, so I believe it's going to be right here. Oh, yep. So, if we go ahead, I'm going to check it out. We'll talk about it on the next episode. Interested to see, but if you do look, they do say they fizzled out in the 90s. So, it's possible, I guess, they're still around. But, looking at these pictures, they are some really interesting creatures. So, I'd be curious to see what this man caught. Hopefully, we have some better footage than what we normally get from these. But I mean, if he's putting a timer, or some kind of a countdown, hopefully they're pretty good. But staying within our cryptozoology news, and of course talking about my favorite Nessie, he believes it's related to an extinct whale. I found this kind of curious because I don't know how you're going to compare Nessie, which looks more eel-like, I would say, and I've always heard the comparison to was eels. So how they kind of came to this is interesting. If you look, the guy's name is Ken Gerard. He's an American cryptozoologist, and he's called. They apparently were serpentine whales. So I guess that's where it is, but it's definitely interesting. Curious if anybody has a take on this. He did have a book coming out, and I don't know about you guys, but like I said before, it's hard for me to find time to actually read things. So quick news articles and things like that. I'm gonna see if I can find this on an audiobook and maybe listen to it one day while I'm working or doing research on this. If anybody has read or heard this book, let us know your thoughts on this. Again, I found it interesting that there's serpentine whales and that the comparison was made. So, and as it says down here, Unfortunately, it's going to be hard to be proven one way or another. But if they're able to prove that, if we finally can get Nessie, it'd be pretty interesting. So moving along, our next story here in the news: witness reports of Bigfoots in California. Gentleman Rick Bates apparently had seen the guy. Said he was 7 foot. Unfortunately, there's no pictures, but it's an interesting sighting. I don't see many of these come out lately. I think the most recent one before this one we talked about before was the one in New York. But the guy said he saw a 7 foot, very hairy figure along the highway. So they did report it. Yeah, it was reported to the BFRO, Bigfoot Field Researchers Organization. I'm gonna see if I can reach out to these guys and see if they'd like to talk and come on the show. And if you happen to know anybody in there that would be interested, feel free to get us in touch. And I'd love to pick some brains and talk a little Bigfoot on the show for a whole episode. So we'll go ahead. We'll keep moving along, but nice to see some more Nessie sightings. So I do have 2 videos. These we got one apparent ghost video, and we have a UFO video. So here's the first video. This is of a motorcycle falling on its own, and it was back in December. It's from another country, so unfortunately I don't know what this says. That's not what we're trying to do. All right. So it's a 30-second clip, and it takes a little bit before the bike gets moving here. But I guess some observations of the video. If you're taking a look, it is just a street alley. You have it just looks like a basic webcam is filming on this street. And as you can see here, this bike kind of just moves. Now, nothing seems to push it. The video is not the greatest quality, but I mean, it's not terrible. You can see the street itself doesn't look like this is something that would have caused it. There's no what seems like jump cuts in the video where somebody may have kicked it or anything along those lines. This bike does seem to just move on its own. I've looked. I don't see anything. I guess we can full screen this a little bit. There's nothing over here where the bike was sitting that looks like somebody could have, reached out and kind of moved it or anything along those lines. So it's definitely an interesting video. Again, this is from, looks like December 30th of last year. That is making its rounds on Twitter. So I'm curious if anybody's seen this video, if anybody else has some kind of input on that. But it's definitely, it's a good video. I mean, I like the video. Again, until everybody's got 4K webcams doing their surveillance, which it'll take forever. Maybe in like 10 years. This is about as high quality as we can get or expect from like businesses in a back alley for sure. So anyway, up next we got a UFO video. So this footage shows a very interesting clip. Now, as you can see here, it's very clear, and this is a hell of a fake if it is. It kind of reminds me of the video we reviewed last time where it looks like the same shape. Last time, though, it was a real quick, zoomed out white object. So this video, the girl was on her way home from Chicago. I don't know where the plane was going from, come to think about it. She left Chicago, she was going somewhere, and then she found it. The site does claim CGI. And it kind of reminds me, again, like I said, of the one that zipped by. But here's the image, and it just goes away. I think they show the full video here. These girls, I'm not going to play the audio because, YouTube will probably pick up on it and blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to go into that. So, if it's CGI, it's very good CGI, which we all know CGI these days is pretty good. But it's interesting, like I said, that it follows kind of the... I'll play it again real quick here. I know CGI has gotten really good. We'll play the highlight. Let's go back. You can see it. I got the video paused here. So for those not watching, I suggest find us over on YouTube and join us there. Thanks for all the new subscribers, by the way. So what you can see here is the shape, and it's I've seen this kind of shape, and people might laugh how I'm going to say this, but this looks like a deviled egg. You got like this kind of oblong object, and then this bubble on the top. Looks like a deviled egg, but some kind of spaceship, obviously, here. Again, it's a very good video. The obvious, it's from a cell phone. You can see it's an up and down video here. It does look like it's just a couple, not younger, I mean, I don't know, younger type girls, but I don't know what would make them want to fake this if it was faked. But again, always to try and be on both sides here. The video is just them really talking. You don't hear other people talking about it. They're kind of quiet about it, so you could say that that's them just setting up a shot. But I do like how it follows the other video, where it's like that same whitish object that just is super fast, zooms in and out of camera. You can see, comes up and then shoots off again to the side. So again, another video here that I thought I'd give a show to. We can close that. So let's go ahead. Let's jump back over here and jump back to the show. So that's, like I said, that was pretty cool. That's what I found here in the news. So, of course, I know everybody's super excited for the paranormal dad joke. So, today's paranormal dad joke is, what is an alien's favorite social media site? Facebook. That one was not one for my daughter this time. She needs to get back on it. She hasn't given me one in a couple weeks here. So, whoops, sorry about that. She hasn't given one in a few weeks. So we're gonna have to find out what's going on there. Get some more paranormal dad jokes from her, because she usually has some pretty good ones. So, TV talk. I know we like to get into some TV talk after the paranormal jokes. As far as seeing any of the recent Kindred Spirits Ghost Nation, unfortunately, I haven't seen any. Like we talked about before, Discovery Plus or Travel Channel decided to throw all that stuff on Discovery Plus and force a lot of people to purchase a new service. That's a whole different discussion that has nothing to do with paranormal, and obviously we won't go into that on the show. But unfortunately, at the current present time, I do not have extra money to just be throwing out another subscription service. And I was hoping my other kind of means of finding these shows hasn't currently found the latest episodes for me to watch. So we'll see what happens here. See if I can kind of snag a Discovery Plus 30-day trial or something. If anybody has a link for one of those, let me know. Be very appreciative. Would like to be on top of the shows, but unfortunately, that I haven't. I did get a chance. I do have the... I had 4 episodes, I think, so far, of the Jason Hall's Most Terrifying. I've watched 3 of them now at this point. I do like it. It is good. It's pretty good narrating. I thought you'd hear or see Jason a little more than what I've seen, but I'll admit I wasn't. I mean, I was watching, but I did get. I was distracted a couple times, so maybe I missed it. But I was kind of hoping, I guess, a little more from Jason. But I mean, it's a good show. It's good stories of things that have happened. The only other critique would be kind of what everybody was complaining about when Ghost Nation first started, was the music, that background music. I'm starting to find a little overuse of that again, and it's kind of annoying. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but it's like I understand the need for building drama or whatever you want to say, but I don't know. It was a little much for a little much for me, especially that first episode. I remember I turned it on and it's just like and like really over dramatic, and I feel it could have. I feel it could have been done better without that. So I know. I think the other thing I need to catch up on is Dead Files. Those I do have those new episodes. I was able to get those recorded from TV, so hopefully we'll do a recap on the Dead Files episodes here shortly. Let everybody catch up. So unfortunately, that's all I really have for TV news. Hopefully, what I'm like I said, what I'm hoping is I can get some kind of Discovery Plus, and we'll get watching on those. But that's all, like I said, for TV news here. Lastly, I did get a chance, and I think the movie is actually from last year, and I didn't hear about it until recently. It was actually Bill from Cinescape Media. He had mentioned this movie, and it was called Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind. And I believe I've mentioned this before on the show, or at least the CE5 protocol, which is Stephen Greer. And the movie itself was really good. Like the what is that, a docudrama? I don't know what they want to call that. But so Close Encounters, I had this up and now it's not. Apologize about that. Hear my clicking there. So, of course, it's got a low rating. But, I mean, so what you would expect, I think, from the movie. So it's a third. You know what? Okay, so that was the other thing. So this is the third part of. I guess it's like a documentary series. The first one was Sirius in 2013, and then Unacknowledged in 2017. Unacknowledged, I actually just purchased so that I can watch that one. I actually plan on watching that one tomorrow. But I did watch the Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind, and yeah, it was this year, or last year, 2020. And I think what maybe brings the ratings down or whatever is they kind of they jumped around a little bit, but there was a lot of information in it, and I thought it was good. One of the things in particular, and I wanted to get into it, I found it interesting how the way they talked about how the media is trying to turn UFOs and aliens aggressive. Now, I know we've always had kind of that, like, oh, aliens are bad. But there's a lot of us that have said, like, we don't know that for 100% sure. I mean, and they touch on it in this documentary, so I do recommend you guys watch this documentary. They do touch on it a little bit, where if you look, if they're really this super advanced race, right? And they can see everything we're doing, and they can see the movies and the TV shows we have. A lot of that stuff doesn't portray them in the greatest of light. So first off, why the hell would they even want to bother? Right? Like, we show videos of us shooting them, blowing them up, making fun of them. Like, why the hell would they want to bother with us? But you have a group of people like myself or others who, if we were to encounter another alien life form, I'd approach friendly. I would try and sit down and have a conversation, because, I mean, that, you're talking, ow, sorry, you're talking, who knows, but they definitely, the documentary made me think of a few things a little bit differently. That's for sure. One in particular was how, like I said, we're talking about the attacking and all that stuff. We created Space Force, and now, again, we're not talking politics here. Space Force to me made sense in this sense of, you have space, who's going to go up there first and start shooting down? Call me crazy. Hey, we're on a freaking show talking about conspiracy theories and ghosts and everything else, right? But to me, that made sense. If somebody was going to do it, and then they'd be, again, kind of the most powerful. But to have Space Force up there to be ready to attack another alien, or, another life race, whatever you want to call it, another life form, didn't even think of it that way. Not gonna lie. Is it there because they finally learned about it, and now we're really building defenses, so the media, like I said, it gets real, it goes real deep into that. And again, I found it very interesting, so I do recommend you go checking that out. I am going to, like I said, watch the other one, Unacknowledged. I'll give you my opinion on that. That was from 2017, so I'm sure a bunch of you may have watched it already. So if you have, let me know what you guys think of it. And then I didn't hear about Sirius until right now when I pulled this up to find out what year the movie was. I'm going to get that one as well, and we'll see. Curious how they all tie together, where they're saying, because it looks like it was done by Variety. Wrote that article. But one of the things that did come out of this, and I kind of joked because all of a sudden at the end, Stephen Greer goes into talking about his CE5 protocol, and like I said, I believe we talked about this before, where he shows how through meditation and things like that they're able to, summon UFOs. And apparently they say it works well. There's these groups that go out and they do it. And then in the movie they talk about the app. Again, something I'm pretty sure we talked about. And I know I mentioned it before. And now that I've watched the documentary and then watched the videos of the encounters that have occurred from this, I'd be curious if, again, it's only like $10. So I'll do it for the show if you guys are interested. Maybe make it a YouTube series where once a week I give an update on my CE5 journey. I'll give you my opinions on it. Is it worth the money? If I see anything, if I feel any different, like I said, I'm willing to do it. I'm actually kind of curious to do it. So if you guys are interested in actually, seeing that or maybe following along with that, let me know in the comments below. And if it gets enough likes, I will put the effort into putting that together. Starting probably the end of next month, we will start. I've started compiling the different stories that I wanted to do. And like I said, I want to put a good amount of time and effort to make sure that they're good quality videos. Again, things I was talking about, like radio signals, what are they called? They're called the number stations, things like that. Definitely are videos that are in the works, and hopefully I'll start by the end of next month. We'll get those out. So we'll get one or more podcasts before then, and I'll give you an update on the shows. I guess it'll be its own mini series, whatever you want to call it. So guys, that's all I have for today. As always, I appreciate you tuning in. Catch us obviously at all the social medias below. I haven't been much on social media, so the best way as of right now, you can still contact me on Messenger on Facebook, but you can also contact me at suburbanparanormal@gmail.com. So guys, thanks again. Always stay safe. Try that again. As always, guys, stay safe, and we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks.